Hi, in this video I'm going to share 3 strategies that you can use in a speaking exam if you get asked a question and you don't know how to answer. It's not a very nice place to be. Speaking exams usually make people feel a bit uncomfortable, and that means that sometimes we're feeling on edge and we can have a question that we can't really cope with in that moment. And for a lot of people, obviously, it's a very scary situation, and many people just freeze and don't know what to say, and it becomes very awkward. So here's 3 things you can do to help you through that situation. So number 1 is to use a filler to buy yourself some time. English has got a lot of phrases that we use when we're not really sure what to say. So if you learn lots of those phrases, that's going to help you. So examples of that are things like, oh, that's a really good question. That would buy you a couple of seconds. And another example is something like, wow, I've never thought about that before. Let me see. And if you do that, it's much better than just saying, like this. That's not what you want in a speaking exam. Number 2, a slightly more sophisticated strategy is to, I'm just checking my dog, is to paraphrase the question back to the examiner. So basically it's a way of checking that you have understood what you have been asked. I don't trust her. She's not to be trusted, this dog. So for example, if the examiner says something to you like, do you think, or rather, at what age do you think young people ought to be allowed to vote, and you're not quite sure what he or she asked you, you can say something like, oh, are you asking me if I think people around the age of 18 should vote? And if you can kind of turn the examiner's question into a question using slightly different words, that is a really good strategy to use in an exam, and in general you will actually be rewarded for your ability to paraphrase. And the third strategy, if you get asked a question and you really just don't know, and you've understood it but it's just beyond your scope of knowledge and experience, actually just be honest. It's okay to say something like, the truth is, I don't know anything about this, I have no experience with this. And then if you really want, you can start to hypothesize. So you could say something like, I don't know much about it, but I imagine that, or I suppose that. And if you want to get really clever, you can use a conditional, and you can hypothesize with a conditional. Well, I don't know much about that, but I suppose if I did like that, I might da 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 da. So remember, in most speaking exams, they are not testing you on your ideas. They are only testing you on your English. And if you can talk your way out of a problem situation, if you haven't understood the question, that in itself is fine. You don't have to have all of the answers. My name is Sarah. I'm an English teacher and language anxiety coach. I help people overcome the fear of speaking and using English.